Hey y'all, I'm Val from Our Forever Farm. Today we're making. Well, I tried and tried to get this intro on. It gave us a lot of good bloopers for the end, so stay to the end. But I had the hardest time saying what I'm making. But let's start this over. I'm Val with Our Forever Farm, and we're making chicken cacciatore, and it is a delicious dish. I do realize on in the video that my volume is off, so I will be on here. I promise it won't just be voiceovers, but stay to the end because you're going to see not only a delicious dish, but you're going to see lots of bloopers, and they're real. I'm telling you, I'm real. You got to have a good laugh every once in a while, right? You are going to love this dish. Let's get busy. So the first thing we want to do is add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the iron skillet or any pan that can go in the oven. And we're just going to heat this pan up. We want it good and hot. While our pan is heating up, we're going to preheat our oven to 325. That's 325. So this is an Italian dish. I looked up the word cacciatore because I didn't know what it meant either, but it means a spicy tomato sauce with herbs and mushrooms. Now we're using chicken thighs today, and I chose boneless chicken thighs, which is very unlike me because I love bone-in meat. And what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting the fat off of the chicken thighs, and it's real easy to do. And what I end up doing is putting these little pieces of fat in a Ziploc bag, and I freeze them for when I make chicken stock later on. That'll be something I can add to the carcass. But right now we're just cutting the fat off the chicken. Not all of it. I love fat. A little bit of fat's good. Now we're going back to the stove. Our pan is hot. We have olive oil in our pan. We're laying our chicken thighs carefully in the pan, and we're laying them away from us just in case the grease was to pop out. All we're going to do with this meat is sear it. We're not cooking it. We're searing it. We're just getting it brown on both sides. Now this is the time I like to season my meat, and I'm just seasoning it with salt and pepper. I'm using sea salt, but you can use any salt you want. After we season our chicken, we're just going to let that meat sit there for 4 minutes. We're not going to touch it. We want it brown on both sides. So right now we're just going to cook it for 4 minutes. Then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing again. Okay, so you can see that the meat is getting brown on that side. Check all of them. Once they're easy to move, that means they're pretty well ready to turn over. If they're sticking, they're not ready. That needs to get really brown, so we'll have to move it around a little bit. Sometimes in an iron skillet, you have to move them around. That one's pretty. See what this big one looks like. Still sticking a little bit. But it's pretty. Alright, let's start taking some of these out. Again, we're not wanting them to cook. We're just wanting them to brown. So maybe if we take some out, they will be in a position to brown easier. These are going to be done. They're just barely brown, but that's okay. We're not looking for cooked, we're looking for browned. I'm going to turn my eye down just a little bit, and the recipe calls for a small white onion or yellow onion. It doesn't really matter. I had a small little bit left over from another dish, and I had some red onions, so I'm adding both. And yes, I know that Sweet Hunter doesn't like these, but when they're cooked in, for some reason, he can eat them. So we're going to cook these until they caramelize in this chicken drippings. That'll take probably 3 to 4 minutes. If you want to add a little sugar to that, you can to caramelize them, but I think it'll be fine.
If you want to cut these rustic and big, if you don't have anybody in your family that doesn't mind onions, rustic and big is the way I would do it. We're going to set these over here. See the chicken? You'll know when these are caramelized because they'll turn a pretty brown color, and they're almost there, just like a golden brown color. You want to scrape that chicken drippings off the pan. So you've got the olive oil and you've got the chicken drippings. Cooking these in. They look good. You should smell it. So next, the recipe calls for fresh rosemary. I don't have any fresh rosemary. I'm just using the dried, crushed. It also calls for ground thyme, and I do have thyme outside. I probably have rosemary too, but it's hot. And you want to cook those about a minute until you start smelling them in the onions. Next, we're going to add cherry tomatoes. These are out of my garden. And we're going to add whole mushrooms. I'm not going to use all these because I'm wanting to make Sweet Hunter an omelet. And I want to save some of these mushrooms for that. You can slice these if you'd like. But we're going to put these in here and just let them cook until these tomatoes blister. And I have plenty of tomatoes, so I'm putting all those in. We're just going to toss these around. I'll show you what I mean by blister in just a few minutes when it cooks. This will take a few minutes. Isn't that beautiful already? Potatoes are still cooking. They need to cook 5, probably 7 minutes. Some of mine are bigger, but you can see them kind of blistering. That means getting soft. Let me see if I can kind of show you without burning myself. Kind of opening it and getting soft. So some of my tomatoes are big, and it'll take just a few more minutes. You're just going to keep stirring that because you don't want to burn your onions. You notice I'm not putting any garlic in here. You can see that's blistering right there, getting soft. That's what we're looking for. In the meantime, I made some chicken broth the other day and had it in my refrigerator. I'm going to put chicken broth in this pan, and I'm going to turn it on high, and I'm going to fix some angel hair spaghetti to put on this. This is not a spaghetti dish. You can use polenta. You can use grits. I've eaten it on grits. You can use rice, but I'm using angel hair today. We're going to heat that up and let that get started. When you do your noodles, you want to add plenty of salt in there. A lot of people add oil. I've done it before, but you want to add plenty of salt. And my chicken broth doesn't have salt in it. That batch doesn't. It's just plain chicken broth. If you want to make your own chicken broth, even if you don't can, and you want to make it and put it in the refrigerator or freeze it, you can. All you do is when you get a rotisserie chicken works, or a chicken that you've baked and you have the carcass, the bones of it, the fat that I cut off of this chicken right here, it will go in my bag for chicken broth. It'll make delicious chicken broth, that fat. And if you don't want a can, just put it in your crock pot and cook it 12 to 36 hours on low, and let it just sit. And you can add vegetables if you want, but to me, that's not necessary. This doesn't have vegetables in it. It's just plain chicken bones and chicken fat. Anything that was left on the chicken. Easy to make. Then you just cool it down, put it in your refrigerator or your freezer. You can freeze it too. So you don't always have to can. I do have canned chicken broth on my shelves, and I usually save that for the winter. So while this is heating up, me and my little microphones don't do too well. You know, I dropped one in the freezer the other day. I hope this one's working. But I want to get down here and show you what these tomatoes look like. See these tomatoes? You can see the juice coming out. See them? I can mash them. They're soft. That's what you want right there. And you just want to stir all this up. Look how much the mushrooms have shrunk. Now I wish I'd put those other 3 or 4 mushrooms in there. It's still going to be good though. But see all that? All this is that one's a little bit tough because it's bigger, but all these small ones, they're just ready to. Look at that. Ready to burst. And that's what we want. We want them blistered. You do not have to use this, but I like to put about a half teaspoon of red pepper chili flakes in here just to give it a little heat. Makes it good. And then I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of butter in there. Just to let you see this from a different angle. Now what we're going to do is just going to make kind of a well in here and roast our tomato sauce. You can use canned or what I'm using. I've actually never used this before, but I was told that it's really, really good. And I want to roast this before I mix it in. Probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons full. Once it's came, you know, it's gotten warm in there, you want to start twirling it around. We want this to just mix up with the rest of this dish. It roasts right in the pan. My noodles are ready to go in. I love angel hair. But remember, this is, you can use anything. You can use rice. You could use anything that you want. We're just going to break this up and get this in the chicken broth. The reason I'm cooking it in chicken broth is to give it that chicken flavor. It'll just make it that much better. This up, and then we're going to add about 4 ounces of olives. And I've chose to get the unstuffed olives, no pimento in them, and we're just going to swirl them around. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, you can't see it. Well, it was beautiful when I poured it in, I promise you. But these are unstuffed olives. They don't have pimento. They have some olives that are delicious that have feta cheese. I almost got those to put in here. I think that would be really good. I think feta cheese would be just delicious in here. I'm going to use this same. Stir this up just a little bit and get this noodles down in there. Okay, next we're adding capers. I love capers. I don't know if you like them or not. I love them. I like the salt cured more than the pickled, but these are so delicious. These, the way I remember it, these are off of the bush of the flower, of the caper bush. And they're like Mediterranean, Asia, in that area. And we're just going to put them in this dish. I honestly can eat these by themselves. I love a Triscuit cracker, and I love to mash these and put them on a Triscuit cracker. They're so good. I'm just going to stir these around. Wish you could smell this. It smells so good. These are kind of blending in. It's going to make just like a beautiful little sauce. You can mash them. It's so good. I like the mushroom whole myself just because it looks pretty. All the different colors, isn't it beautiful? These tomatoes are called Sun Gold, and we planted them last year, and we planted them again this year. And then I can't remember the name of the 2 other tomatoes, but one's bigger than the other. The cherry tomatoes. Love these Sun Gold tomatoes. Okay, next I'm using this. I prefer actual red wine, and I didn't get to the store. So this is cooking wine, and we're going to use about a quarter cup in it. We're going to reduce this down. See, this is cooking down. You can stir it around if you'd like. Look at our tomatoes. They just, what cooks call blistered, or I call mashed. They just cook down and make a beautiful, beautiful sauce. Look at that. But you can see how thick that's getting from the cooking wine. And like I say, I prefer the red wine to, oh my goodness, it's delicious. Next thing we're going to do is add stewed tomatoes. These are stewed sliced. I really like stewed crushed better, but we're going to add these into the mixture. And you can mash those around too, or you'll have your stewed crushed if you want. They're already cooked, so it won't take long to crush them. You can take a potato masher and crush these. That's about a 14, almost 15 ounce can. And like I say, I'm not crazy about the sliced, so I'm just kind of chopping them up as I cook it. My noodles are about ready. I'm just going to turn them off and set them on the stove. I love to add balsamic vinegar to this, and I add maybe 2 tablespoons. You can do it at, as you want. I think it just gives it a zing. I love balsamic vinegar. And we're just going to heat this through. Look at the sauce it's made. It's just beautiful. All like melded together, married together. Looks so good. Hey, you like to always give everything a taste test. This is it. This is it's done. And we're going to put the chicken back in it, and we're going to put it in the oven. And I'm going to show you that. But before I do, I want to get a good taste of this salt. And I'm going to get a good taste of this salt, this sauce. I'm going to get a really good taste of it. But I got to let it cool. That's delicious. I think it needs a little more salt in it. I'm a salt person, so let that cook right in there. Don't it look delicious? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these pieces of chicken that we set aside, and we're going to place them. And we kind of want to smother them in here, and I'll do that in a minute once I get them in here. Just want to put these pieces of chicken in here on top. And then we just want to take them and smother them down into this sauce. We don't want the chicken to get dry in the oven. If you prefer cutting your chicken up and having small pieces of chicken, that's fine. I do love chicken thighs in this. I think it's delicious. Of course, I am a chicken thigh person, so, and I'm not even a big chicken person. I might have told you that. I'm not really into that. Okay, so we've got everything done. What we're going to do now is set it in the oven at 325 for 15 minutes. I'm going to make some toast to go with it. I'm going to get my noodles ready, which all I have to do is drain them, and then we'll serve this. Don't that look good? 15 minutes and that'll be done. So I'm going to make some, I meant to make some of my Dutch oven crusty bread last night. I wasn't feeling great, so I didn't do it. So we're having like a little French bread toast, and it's going to be good. So I got the toast done, just a simple toast. I've got the noodles done, and here's our chicken cacciatore. Don't that look good? Looks so good. I'm going to dish Sweet Hunter out a plate, but before I do, I'm going to drizzle just a little bit of olive oil over this chicken. That's just a me thing. And then I love to buy this that's already shredded, this Parmesan, and I'm just going to sprinkle some on here.
So today I'm using angel hair pasta. You can use any pasta you want, but polenta is the best thing to serve this on. This is a very spicy tomato sauce with lots of goodies inside. You will love it, no matter what you serve it on. Isn't it beautiful?
Another fun cooking day. So this is just delicious. Try it. You'll like it. Y'all go cook something.
Don't laugh too hard at the bloopers. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm, and today we're making chicken cacciatore. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm, and today we're making kitchen cacciatore. I'm in the mood for Italian and wanted something different. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. Today we're making kitchen chicken. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. Today we're using our iron skillet and we're gonna make chicken cacciatore. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. I'm glad you're here. Today we're gonna make an Italian dish called chicken cacciatore. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm, and I better get my mic.
Test, 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 test. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm, and I'm in the mood for Italian today. So we're going to make chicken cacciatore. Cacciatore. Why do you say that? Kitchen. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. I'm in the mood for Italian today, so I'm going to whip up some chicken cacciatore. I hope I said that right. Chicken cacciatore. Kitchen check. Hey y'all, I'm Val from Our Forever Farm. Today we're making